Good morning, sir. Could you please tell me what exactly is working in terms of extension agents giving extension services to farmers?
Extension agent giving extension services to farmers.
Yes.
It's working. And the only thing there is that the extension agent working with farmer will at least increase the livelihood of the farmer. What we say increase livelihood in terms of naira and kobo. Because once the extension worker gets to where the farmer is, extension workers are technocrats. They will give the farmer advices that this is the new way of doing things, which is a little bit different from your old ways. In terms of one, using of good seeds. When we need seeds, we're talking about fingerlings. Two, mode of feeding. Like initially, some persons will feed at a spot, some persons will just pour the feed once and move away. And any feed that is lynched before it's being consumed by the feed, that won't mean lynching. That is the nutrient in the feed has entered the water before the fish now consume the fish. Like the fish is now consuming shaft, so the nutrient will not be readily available. So you teach them on how to feed. As you are dropping the feed, right, the fishes are feeding. Maybe all of them will be rushing in. At the time, you'll now be moving away from the point of feeding. Maybe when they initially started almost close to 1,000, now they are at 10 or 15, maybe they are already fed up. And again, hardly, it enables them to feed to their saturation. You feed to saturation. That is, they feed at need. Anytime they eat and they will grow fast, they will reach market price on time, boils down to making good naira and kobo. Secondly, again, you see the water quality management. When we talk about water quality, we talk about that in terms of dissolved oxygen, the dissolved solids, the temperature of the water, and even if the water is turbid, you need to do what you need to do. Reduce the water and bring in fresh water. Or if there is low dissolved oxygen in water, what you do? You introduce oxygen by allowing fresh water, reduce water, allowing fresh water to fall on the baffle and then to now splash, thereby increases the surface area for oxygen to diffuse into the water. Those are all good management practices. Or even if there are algae bloom in your pond, you need to remove them, remove the scum, reduce the water, bring in fresh water. And again, you also let the farmer know the stocking density. A situation where a farmer has a pond that is maybe 12 feet by 8 feet now, you now put in 2,000 fishes without considering the number of fishes per meter square. And as so doing, they will be struggling for space, they will be struggling for feed, and that will ensure that they don't get to maturity on time. It will be a kind of economic leakage in terms of the fact that you are putting more and you are not getting returns that is commensurate with the input that you are putting into the. These are the things you let them know that. And again, the pond maintenance, in case your pond are caving and all those things, if you are using netting pond or there are cracks, or even for those that want to go into fish farming, you try to give them the reason how they should do their pond, because it's easier to build a standard pond that will stand the test of time than to maintain a pond that is already giving way. The cost of maintaining a pond that is faulty is as much even higher than building a new pond.
Okay. So with the extension practices currently on ground, with how extension agents go and educate farmers and all those type of things you're talking about, there are processes. Which one of those processes are working well? Which one of those processes should we take into the future?
There are a lot of extension procedures, yes. A lot of them. Like we have the training and visits. You visit farmers, you also train them on the new agricultural techniques. Then we have the one that is generally accepted now is Universal Agricultural Extension Services, which carries all the packages, both training, visit, introduction of new varieties, new technologies and all those things to farmers, which includes demonstration using either small livestock adoption techniques or SPAT, small plot adoption techniques, to educate farmers on the new agronomic in all the agro enterprise, which ranges from fisheries, livestock, crop, agroforestry, where there is women agriculture and etc., which encompasses like in women agriculture processing, so as to add value to the agricultural produce, which will make it to attract more interest. So there are a lot of agricultural extension procedures that you put in place, ranging from TMV, Unified Agricultural Extension Services, TMV, and all the rest.
In going to give out these extension services, are there any parts of it that
Mr. Marcos.
Yes, so in these extension agents going to go and talk to these farmers and educate them on new technology, is there any part of the process that you think should be changed or upgraded because they're not really working on anymore?
The extension actually, you cannot actually quantify the importance which they are playing in the life of the farmers. Because initially, if you watch the way our people were going through farming practices, the thing was that they were not taking it as a business. They just took it as if you are a farmer, you take it on subsistence level in terms of providing for yourself and your family. But at this point in time now, it has come to the notice of farmer that farming is a business where everybody can make both ends meet. And if you go to look at it critically, from these recent days now, if you look at the stress or the distress people are into now, it's still agriculture that will be able to bring out Nigeria from this driving times that we are passing through. If you look at the good old days of the 60s, before the inception of a petroleum product, agric was a mystery. Where is the pyramid of granite? Where is the timber? Where is the rubber? Even the oil palm and all those things, where are they? They've gone into oblivion. But with the new trend now, things are coming gradually. And then extension cannot be ruled out, because they will be able to put farmers in the right trend of life. You can imagine somebody will tell you I have 10 acres of yam. At the end of the day, the yam produce will not be able to feed the family. But today, with the little size of farm that you are able to produce a lot of things that can go a long way to at least alleviate the suffering of the family. Through that, farmer will be able to pay the tuition fee of the children, house them, clothe them, and then live in a good house, improve on their livelihood. So we cannot do that extension. Extension is as good as agriculture. So for that reason, we should employ it. Even farmers today, it has come to the awareness of farmers. You see farmers coming to agricultural setups to now say what and what do we need to do. As I speak with you, people come from abroad now. They are in abroad, but they are doing farming activities here. They have oil palm estates. They have more than 20. Like there's one farmer that currently we are working with now. It's in this year East village. He's having over 20 hectares of oil palm. 20 times 150, because 150 oil palms is 1 hectare times 20. That's about 3,000 oil palm stands. You know what that means? It translates to Naira. Even if you don't want to process your oil, if you is that you make good money. So the issue of extension cannot be bypassed, and they've at least built a momentum in the agricultural sector. So that is
So are there any problems that extension agents face in order to give this extension to the farmers?
actually in the course of carrying extension job. Let's be frank with ourselves. There are a lot of sacrifices you need to do. They are faced with hazards. The problem that extension agent encounters, there are a lot of problems. Among them is the language barrier. Like a Benin man, most of these our farmers are not well read. They are not educated. Like if a Benin extension agent posted to Nigeria now, and it happens to work with 8 mothers and fathers, you have the issue of language barrier. Because they might not understand English, even the local language of this pidgin. You might be talking to them, they'll ask you questions and begin to speak to you in their dialect, which you may not understand. So language could be a barrier. 2, the issue of logistics in terms of transportation, mobility. Like, it's not easy to acquire a bike now. An extension agent without a mobility is difficult, because in the rural areas, you won't get transportation. Even if you have the money, you won't get transportation most likely within inter-villages, intra and inter-villages. So the issue of mobility is also a problem. Then again, there are a lot of problems. Funding is not an easy thing. You need a lot of logistics in terms of maybe phone calls, text messages, and all those things. Communication gadgets. It's not an easy thing to move within the villages, and most especially the issue of insecurity. Insecurity is one of the problems too. It's the challenges that need to be tackled. You can see that the issue of even the federal and state government fighting the issue of insecurity, it has not been easy. It's really a big task and a big challenges to extension job. So, and many others like that.
So in the midst of all these troubles, all these problems, is there any part of extension that is good? That any part of extension, like giving out the extension services to the farmers, is there any part of it that is good? That even in the midst of the things like the funding, the insecurity, these processes, they should be carried on later in the future. Is there any part of it that is good?
There are many extension methods, like the farmer field school. It's a group approach where about 30 farmers or more be in a school. That is a school without walls. It's done in the field. They use the farm as their learning field. All farmers come from different locations, gather there. They have a learning field where every activity is done in their farm. It's being taken straight in the learning field there. It's being taken to their respective farms. So it's actually group approach. The best, that's why we talk about unified agricultural extension services. The best approach is that, and it uses the group approach as a way to reach out to farmers. And it's not all farmers that you work with. You have there's a farmer, how do I put them now? Contact farmers. For instance, you have about 50 contact farmers here now. You meet with them. This contact farmer will also have a group of farmers that they will be tutoring, that will be learning from them too. So you see, it's now a group approach.
Right, sir. Are there any other additional notes or anything you'd like to say concerning your project?
Like, which area are you really addressing? You're addressing the issue of
the assessment of extension service provision, like how is it, what's good about it, what needs to be changed.
Effectiveness. So that is that. Then the only thing is that assessing as an extensionist, in the way I look at it, the group approach is better. Whereby an extension just carries all the messages affecting both crop, livestock, fisheries, agroforestry, messages and communicates to extension to farmers in the field. Or like you say, you are carrying individual message, you train them, you visit them. But when you are applying the group approach of Unified Agricultural Extension Services, all messages come across to them. And most times, if you have your cell and subcells, like you have a cell now, you now have 8 subcells. You now say, okay, on Monday you go for FNT. The other Monday you go for block extension supervisors meeting. So that 8 groups, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you meet 4 groups. The other 4 groups, the next Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you meet the other 4 groups. Subsequent week, you come to meet this group again. You see, it's a group approach. And it's sequential in their dissemination of messages to farmers. So by so doing, you talk, by training them, you demonstrate practically what you are taught, you could learn and forget. But what you learn practically, you learn it and own it for life. What you see visually, you don't forget. But what you are taught, you might just read and forget. But what you are taught practically, you never forget it. You own it for life. That is that.
All right. Thank you, sir.